I'm about to do a review on this movie. I just did a review of a movie that I have an audience today. That's my cousin, but she told me to watch a movie from 2007 called Trick or Treat. And the intro was really nice. The only thing I was confused about was how this little shit of a child murdered this woman in the beginning of the movie. And the movie is based in, it was based in Ohio. And it's one of those movies where it shows the intro and then it cuts to like earlier that night. And you see it from, how many people? Like 5 different perspectives. Let's see. Oh, I forgot what happened. But it shows there's this one character, he's the principal of, I don't know what school, like intermediate, preschool, I don't really fucking know. But he is really creepy, and that scene was disgusting, and when you see it, you'll know why, because I didn't expect it. But let's just say there was a lot of blood in that scene, or chocolatey blood, I guess. Yeah, there was a lot of brown blood. It was real weird. And then, yeah, and you find out in that scene that he's the principal, which is gross, because he kills kids, and it's, ugh. Let's see, what was after that? Then it cuts to, I think, the perspective of the little kids. There's about 5 of them. And there's the one girl who was, like, not normal amongst the rest of them. And they go to this, like, I don't know if you call it, like, a pit, I guess, with a lake in the middle of it. Kind of.
Like a dump?
Yeah. Dump. Like a garbage dump to pay respects to, like, the whole backstory of the movie. Where that these kids that were different were driven to school in a bus, and the parents of those kids paid the driver to technically kill the kids. But he didn't kill them. One of the kids got out of their, like, was it chains or something like that?
Yeah.
And he jumps to the front seat and presses the gas, and they drive into the dump or the pit, and they all die. But the driver survives. And you find out who he is later in the movie. But they were... excuse me. But then, they were paying respects to those kids, and I think 3 friends, they go down into the pit, tell the other 2 to stay back. What was after that? Then I think the other 2 go down, and the other 3 kids played like a prank on the not normal girl. Then they mess with her, she gets hurt, and she's like bleeding on the back of her head. And then all of a sudden the friends hear like voices in their head around where the lake is with the bus in the water. And then all of a sudden they see the spirits of those kids that died, and they start chasing them. Did I write the girl's name down?
Rhonda.
Oh yeah, that's right, Rhonda. My peanut gallery. But pretty much, Rhonda goes up in the elevator and leaves those so-called her friends to die. So they all die in that scene. And Sammy, the little pumpkin boy, sees her like get up in the elevator in that scene, and he looks at her, kind of ignores her, and just walks away. He's like, eh. Let's see. What's the wrong thing? Ohio. I think this is where it cuts to, you see the perspective of like the older kids, like the teenagers. And they have a similar friend that is like not normal, is weird also. And she's meeting them at like a fire party, something like that. Is that what you'd call it at first?
A what?
Just like the fire party, or whatever the fuck you call it, or at least.
Seance.
Well, you don't know that yet, but yeah.
Oh.
She thinks it's a party. Well, she knows what it is, but the character that gets murdered in it doesn't. She's getting there, and then the principal like attacks her. Because you find out he's like a vampire, which is fucking weird. But he's actually not. He's just wearing fake teeth and biting people for some reason. He's so fucking weird. But then you find out in that scene he gets like thrown near the fire at that party. You find out all those girls and their friends are all werewolves. Like literal werewolves, and he gets murdered. And then it cuts to Craig's character, who's this really old man who's the neighbor of the principal. And he is pretty much being attacked by Sammy's character. And thinks he kills him. Does not. There's one scene that she couldn't stop laughing about. When you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Hopefully. But as Sammy is about to kill him with his, like, sucker, it sticks onto his chest, but a piece of candy is stuck to it. And this is where they kind of explain the lore of Sammy's character at the very end of the movie, which just seemed weird to me. But, he, like, looks at the candy and leaves, and I guess it's to say that, like, he only kills people that don't, like, go by the rules of Halloween. If that makes sense. So, like, technically the old man gave him candy, so he leaves, and just leaves him alone. And then he goes outside, Craig, the fucking weirdo. I don't like his character at all. But then he goes outside and sees Sammy kind of like chilling. And then this is where you see the big opening scene repeat itself, because it's showing that it's like catching up in real time. He looks at Sammy, goes back inside, hears a knock on the door, comes outside. All the spirits from the kids on the bus are right there, just looking at him. And he kind of screams, and then the movie goes black. So I guess you can assume that they murdered him. Possibly. Shut up. I would say this movie was good, but there are some things that didn't really add up. Or they didn't fit in the right places. And I feel like they need to explain Sammy's lore at some point, because where he fit in was just a little weird. And I think they didn't explain the town, but the town seemed a lot more supernatural than they like said it was, because like the principal was a murderer, the teenage girls were werewolves. Like, what? Like, it makes no sense. And yeah, they could have just changed a few things that didn't make sense. I did rate this a 3, but I think I might change it to like a 2.5, because it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but there were definitely changes they could make. So, you know. But yeah, that's my review of Trick or Treat from 2007. Apparently there's other versions of the movie that I might watch. We'll see. But I will talk to y'all next time. I'm going to go record another one of these.